Hello, everyone. Welcome to my live stream. I guess it's going to be probably caught more on the replay. I haven't gone live in so long that I haven't really, a lot of people don't watch me anymore, probably because of it. I've kind of lost a lot of my following because I did, I haven't gone live and, you know, I did want to explain, why I disappeared. There's been so many rumors about it. I did have some health issues. My A1C was like over 11. And so like I have diabetes. So I found out I have diabetes. So I was trying to focus on, getting healthier for myself and getting up and moving around more. I had gotten so focused on all these cases, especially Summer Wells case, that I stopped taking care of myself. And then when Nana's Angels passed away, it was like almost like a slap in the face. I was like, oh my God, that's me. I'm her. Like I'm going to be next. I have to get my health together. So I started working on trying to get healthier and getting on some medication and things so that, I don't die. That's basically it. And I'll say whatever I want to say in my chat, in my on my lives. I don't, I'm unmonetized and on purpose. I don't want to be monetized. And so that's not my I just like to talk about things, and I like to talk about things that other people don't talk about. Especially with the Sebastian Rogers case. I've been following it. I'm not new to this game. I'm not new to this show or whatever people are saying about me. Far from it. I was there day one from Sebastian Rogers went missing in this case. Like I've been there the whole time. I've been in chats. If you know me, I've been in the chats. I just didn't make any videos or I didn't want to talk about it. I kind of stopped making videos and I stopped making lives and stuff. So, but um I just, I just started getting frustrated because everybody is so like has tunnel vision, like one way or the other. You're either north or you're south, but nobody wants to look east or west. That's kind of like, if you know me, you understand. I like to look at the other options. Like what else could be there, and I like to discuss things, and everybody has in my chat. I don't care what you have. You can have any opinion you want. Um but I would like to focus on other things. I mean, there's hundreds of channels out there right now that are talking about one parent or the other. It'd be kind of nice not to talk about the parents and look at maybe some other options and some ideas, and look at what was that house before they moved into it? What was it? It was kids goofing off. And one of the kids that was in that house, um, he had a prank show and he was calling pedophiles, and he was trapping pedophiles online and posting about them online. A kid that was in that house. So to like disregard that, I think that's kind of doing disjustice to this whole case. I mean, and then not only that, what I wanted to show was, because you can't see a lot of angles, like how the house was, and a lot of people didn't understand where the garage door was and those kind of things. I was trying to show you the house was remodeled before they bought it. They put in new countertops, of course, and painted everything gray with white trim, like every house now is. They went in and they changed it all up, and then they excuse me, they of course, to sell it, they put in, stainless steel appliances, all those things. But that's the house. That's the house that Chelsea Linton was living in. And she had channels, and she's still a person who has content on the internet. She's an adult now, but she lived in that house and she had a lot of friends and had a lot of internet presence. And I just wanted to, bring awareness to that. And Who else could have been in that house? What was that? You have to look at something. Now, what the house was now, when Sebastian Rogers went missing, it was only that their little family living in there quiet, Chris gone most of the time, Sebastian in and out of um, going to school and home, and that was it. And then sometimes going to Clarksville to Seth, every other weekend. Well, for it probably 17 years, that house was something else. 1 year before Sebastian Rogers went missing, it was a completely different house. Different people lived there. If the house was a target, then it could open it up to completely different options. And so I wasn't trying to say, oh, these people are Katie and Sebastian. These people are this. These people are that. I was just trying to show that the video with the girl and the boy who does the prank calls sitting in that room is actually Sebastian Rogers' bedroom. That's her bedroom, was Sebastian Rogers' bedroom. And people that are angry about what I posted, I wasn't posting anything. And the thing is, everything that I put on that video came from YouTube. Even the house videos came from YouTube. They're literally, if you look up 1008 Stafford Court, the house comes up on YouTube. There's a whole video walkthroughs. I didn't dox anything. I wasn't trying to offend anyone. These people that put their stuff on YouTube. They're all public on YouTube. And these people are all adults now. I wasn't doing anything to hurt anybody other than putting pieces together. When I investigate something, I look at everything. I don't get tunnel vision. I can't get tunnel vision. That's just something I think maybe it's my ADD. I don't know. People always say they're ADD. I think maybe it's my ADD. I can't get tunnel vision. As soon as I see something over here, I'm like, oh, wait, what is this over here? And then again, oh, wait, what is this over here? So it causes me to not get tunnel vision, and there's so many things that people are trying to say that the parents did this or that parent did that. The only thing that I can see in with it is if during his stays in Clarksville, when he's alone, has internet access, I really would. I kind of think he ran away. I'll be honest. I think he ran away, or he was tricked, like catfished, kind of, and somebody got him out of the house. That's kind of what I'm going on. The only reason why that's my theory is because that's the law enforcement's theory. That's what law enforcement believes. That's the narrative law enforcement is putting out. That's the only reason why they would have already done something. They're not law enforcement, they would, the way that they were looking at things, first off, if they said that he was last seen in Stafford Court, and they put that out after in the Stafford Court area on the 26th, they have to have some reason they put that out. They walked that back too. They walked the 25th back. Originally, it was the 25th. They changed it to the 26th. They changed it to this 26th, and then they didn't even say the home. They said Stafford Court area. That means he had to have been probably seen on some type of surveillance, or a neighbor or something saw something. Somehow there's some way that they know. They wouldn't put it out. They would change it. How many times do you see a missing kid go missing, or a kid go missing? Okay, we just had the baby that just from the car accident. Originally, they put it out that he was missing on that day. Then they walked it all the way back. Now, it was till September or something that he was last seen. So they change it. If they get new information, they update and they change the last sighting. They don't just keep running with it. They change it. That's what law enforcement does. So if they feel, I'm only going to listen to what law enforcement says. What they said was the 26th in the Stafford Court area. So I'm only going to go from there now on, whether the lights were something or not. I don't know if the lights were something, but if they were, if they weren't, it it doesn't matter because I have Ring cameras, and my cameras, they trigger with movement, but half the time they record after somebody already passed them. They start recording and then the person's already passed. And you're just getting a little bit of a flicker of a recording. So I've literally had Amazon, you see the truck pull up and then you see the guys running away, like a little, like you can't, they don't even get half of the, where the guy's walking up to my door, putting the package, they're showing him just running away by the time it starts recording. Like there's a glitch in it. There's like a jump in the camera. So I know Ring cameras do glitch like that. The lights are very confusing. You know, the lights are confusing. I don't want to go one way or the other with like the whole, degrees or whatever. In my opinion, anything from the edge of the back where you could see that car parked going across, that's in the line of view. So whatever the degrees are, I don't care. If you draw a straight line, because the camera shoots straight, it doesn't have curves. It doesn't curve. The point of view doesn't curve. It goes straight. So if those tail lights on that car that come on, like on the second video, even if they're in the driveway or not in the driveway, that line of view will automatically come across and it does catch their backyard. So, I mean, the lights don't. Hey, everyone. I was going to say hi, everyone, too, because, and everyone in chat. I don't have anybody in my live yet. I might not ever. I might not get my lives back again. People might not come watch me anymore. But we'll see. But I just wanted to talk about the video that I made because everybody was hating on it and they were just like, "What is this crazy video?" And if you guys want to know, I put the music on there because it copyrights it. So everybody who played my video is going to get struck probably for copyright. So because I have copyrighted music on it, so I can play it, but like I do that because it makes people have to come here and watch it on my channel and watch it, instead of everybody just clipping it and everything. But I don't know. What are some of your opinions? Do any of you have any opinions on what you think? September Virgo, what do you think? Do you think he ran away? I mean, that's what law enforcement's saying. So I don't want to blame parents. I want to get totally away from the parents. Okay, so focusing on the parents on both sides for 10 months has gotten nowhere. So maybe it's something else, because usually after 10 months, yeah, I think he was lured or ran away too. Also, Connie, the Connie Mara. Hello. Thanks everybody for joining. I know it's getting to a slow start here, but I was just talking about the video that I made, and it was of all the, the kids that were in and out of that house and who lived in that house before. Sebastian and Katie and Chris lived in that house. And I was just, it's not that I'm defending anything about my video. I know it can seem offensive. I am an artist. If you know me, I'm an artist. I don't know if anyone's ever watched me on TikTok. I don't even do true crime on TikTok. I do, makeup and art. I'm an artist. That's what I've always done. That's how I even got into true crime, is because I did art. I did art stuff online. I sell online my art, and also a tattoo artist. And so what started was I started watching, true crime. And of course, the one case that drew me in the most Delphi. But I didn't get obsessed with Delphi like I did with Summer Wells. I got so obsessed with Summer Wells that it controlled my whole life. Like I couldn't even sleep. When I did sleep, I dreamt it. When I woke up, I was back on it again. I got so focused on it. And It was a little bit much, my health took a toll from it. But, this case, it's almost the same. I've been on it from day 1. I've watched it. I, you know I'll tell you what, I got close enough to the case in the Summer Wells case that in my heart, what I truly believe is she's alive and the family knows where she is. That's where I'm gonna go with that one. That's why it didn't become a mystery to me anymore. I let it go because I pretty much with the relationship that I had with the family, and everything around it, I, believe that she's totally alive and totally fine, totally well, just somewhere else. That's what I believe. So, and I had to let it go. But with this case, that doesn't make sense with this case. They could have just did that, the reason with the Summer Wells case they didn't do that was because they really did have CPS involvement that they didn't really speak on that much. There was a lot of CPS involvement, and they couldn't just put their kids somewhere because CPS was already watching them too much. So, with this case, though, with Sebastian Rogers, you know, there's a lot of things that I believe, and I'm not gonna call him a victim yet because there's no crime that has been committed. I wouldn't, I don't wanna call him a victim. To me, he's not a victim. So that, people say I might be victim blaming and things, but I think this kid was 15. He was going on, now he's 16. There's a lot of things that he could have done completely on his own. I have a autistic son who did the craziest things. He was Asperger's. He was a very high functioning. So not only a child with Asperger's that is high functioning, they're actually smarter than us. They're able of getting away with things and getting around stuff like you can't even believe. You know, um, my son would do all kinds of stuff. Like he got all kinds of free stuff off of guys off the internet. I know people always hate on me and they're like, "Oh, what kind of mother were you?" I didn't know these things. My son's 30 now. I have a really good relationship with him and he is gay and he talks to me openly about all the things that he did when he was a teenager, and it really opened my eyes to so many things. So many things, you know? And with this case, you know, here you have a child who was already um his first sexual experiences, of course, they were abuse and molestation, but it was done by a boy. So now you have a boy who already had some sexual experiences with boys. You know, my son who is gay explained to me, um, "Oh, you could say that about me. How he's not a victim yet. How is he a victim when you don't know what happened to him, Rod? You don't know what happened to him. He could have left all on his own, you know?" Okay, so let's put you in timeout. S to be a victim, you have to prove a crime. So I don't think he's a victim, and, I mean, he might have had some situations where the parent was a little bit harsh with him, maybe even abusive with him, but like, not all abusive situations end in killing your child. Like, my dad was shitty. My dad beat the shit out of me when I did something wrong. I mean, I don't know if there's probably not anybody in this chat or anybody who's rewatching this on replay who can't say that they never had got in trouble when they were a kid and got spankings. I mean, it happens, but that doesn't mean that the okay, so it's a criminal investigation now because of the fact that he's a child and he was probably they believe he has to be harbored by somebody. He could be a runaway and they could because their theory is a runaway. The police said he ran away. So like I I want to look like I'm not okay, I'm going to go back into what I said. What I want to focus on is not bashing parents and not looking at the parents. I want to look outside the box on this. I want to talk about all the other things that could happen because everybody else is talking about the parents. Everybody else is talking about the parents. So what's the point of just keep talking about the parents and joining that train of talking about the parents? So I wanted to talk about things other than the parents on both sides. I don't talk about either of the parents' sides. The only thing I do want to touch on is with Seth, not him, but where he was living, Sebastian was exposed to that whole area by himself every other weekend for the last, was it year and a half? So he was going to Clarksville and staying with him, left alone there. What was he doing in those at that time? Who lived in those apartments over there? What kid, who was he talking to? What was he doing when Seth was at work? So those are the kind of things I like to look at. Just like my video I put out, I wanted to look at the house, who lived in that house before they lived in the house? What was that house before they lived in? If somebody abducted him from the house, did they go to the house because they were looking for somebody else that was in the house? There's a lot of other options to look at. I don't want to get tunnel vision and people be mad and they can bash me because I'm not bashing the parents. Same thing, Dippy. I'm looking at other things because for 10 months, everybody's looked at the parents and it hasn't gotten anywhere. So maybe it's something else. Maybe we need to look at something else. From the day he went to the bowling alley, he went to all these other places. So something that I learned, and this offends people, and I don't know why this offends people, and everyone gets so mad when I say this, because my experience with my son, who is a gay man now, that we cannot go anywhere without his grinder popping off, asking him to meet in the bathroom. I'm sorry, it happens. It's a very, very common thing. And the craziest thing is about 80% of these men that are on these apps looking for hookups in bathrooms are men that are married and they're straight men. You don't even know that they're gay men. And they're all hooking up in these bathrooms from Home Depot to bowling alleys to Planet Fitness, all of these places. So what could have happened when he was at the bowling alley? Could he have talked to somebody and met up with somebody? Could he, there's times he went to the bathroom at the Texas Roadhouse with somebody in the bathroom that he talked to in the Texas Roadhouse. This is just something I have personally witnessed. And a lot of men don't talk about it because I don't know, it's a hidden thing for them, but it's like something very, very real. Like, this is something that there's something going on in the community with the men and hooking up in bathrooms. I'm just saying it's a thing. And it's something that, what could have happened leading up to that night? Could he have met anybody? Could he have talked to other people? Okay, so that's an avenue. Could he have met and talked to people when he was at the apartments in Clarksville? That's an avenue I looked at. I'm looking at the house before they lived there. Could the house itself be the target? And they knew that a kid lived in that front room at one time, and that front room was the target of the house. And then Minecraft. So the little girl that just it was in Wyoming. Is let me see what her name was again. I could forget. Let me look her up real quick. I forget what her name is. And see. Does anybody remember the little girl who out of Arizona she turned herself in? She was in Wyoming when she turned herself in. can't see nothing. When she was 18, she went to the police station. And then what was her name? Yes, Natasha. Yeah, Natasha. She was gone for 4 years. You know where she met the guy? She met him on Minecraft. And then they started talking in Discord. I can't remember. Yeah, her name was Natasha. And she met her and it wasn't even anything seriously. I mean, she chose to leave. So I mean, she was underage, but it wasn't like she was actually kidnapped. She got out of the house herself and left. Um, and then let me see if we could find it here again. What her actual whole name. And then let me see. Yeah, she was from Mesa, Arizona. That was it. Yeah. From Mesa, Arizona area, right? Okay. Okay. Well, oh yeah, Alicia Navarro. That was it. Alicia Navarro. Yeah, it was a different one. Yeah. Okay, that's why I'm not fine. Okay. Alicia. Yes, you're right. Alicia Navarro. That was her name. Alicia Navarro. So she actually yeah, Alicia Navarro. That was it. Let's see where she was from. Yeah, 4 years later. And then the guy, he actually did end up getting arrested because he had explicit images, that were found on some of his stuff when they did a search warrant on the house. But his name was Edmund Davis, Montana. They were in Montana, not I know why I thought Wyoming. Okay, so he was in Montana. So starting, it was Arizona, and then she met him playing Minecraft. So they went from Minecraft to start talking on Discord. So I'm not really familiar with Switch because I'm an Xbox user, but a gamer, but Switch, I was talking to my son. So yes, they changed Switch. You used to be able to talk to each other and there was online stuff with Switch. So they changed it. Now what you do is you download this Nintendo chat app to your phone. And on the Nintendo app on your phone is how you can talk back and forth to other people that are playing the games on Switch. So he explained that to me, and that was really interesting because I didn't even know that. I did know in the beginning with the Switch, you could talk, and then they changed it for safety reasons with children, and they made it to where you could not talk online with each other through the Switch. You'd have to use your phone or a tablet and download the Nintendo app. And then you add them as friends as you meet them in the games. And then no, I'm glad I'm glad they made those changes too. They made those changes. It's been a few years now they had those changes in place. Yet the kids, being kids, they got around it. And so what they do is they download the Nintendo app on their phones and on their other devices like tablets, and then they can talk to each other while they're playing the game through this Nintendo app. That's how they're doing it now. So he does have a way to talk to people if he gets the Nintendo app and he puts it on his phone. He can talk to people through this while he's playing. He meets people through the Switch on either Minecraft or the thing with Minecraft though, I don't think Minecraft is even on the Switch. Minecraft is like Xbox, it's Microsoft. It's through Microsoft. So he wouldn't be playing Minecraft on the Switch. So if they say he always is playing Minecraft, then he's not playing it on the Switch because the Switch is Nintendo. That's the other thing It's a Nintendo device. Yeah. I mean, you really so you can go online and play, but you can't communicate. So with the Switch, you're online because you can download games, you can, but you can't talk anymore in chat. You can't chat in gameplay. So it used to be you could chat in gameplay. See, that's what people aren't realizing, and none of it is recorded chat. So yeah, now Roblox is a whole different story. Now I Roblox is horrible. If you download and go on Roblox, like, I would go on there and I'd play, like, art games, like drawing games, because 'cause I'm an artist and I just, on my free time, sometimes I would play because they have so many games. It's like hundreds and hundreds of games on Roblox. There's games that are just scamming to get your money games because you could put your own game on there. So, like, part of the gameplay is building your own game and putting it on there and getting other people to pay you to play your game. That's part of Roblox. So it's like, but I would go on like some of the drawing games, and I'm sh I mean, it's a lot of it is kids, but a lot of it is adults. It's really weird. And, so I'll go on these drawing games, and like 50% of the things, they're cussing and they're drawing dicks and they're like saying horrible things. Like, instead of playing the game and just drawing a picture, like it'll be a thing, it'll say, draw a skunk, and then I'll be drawing a skunk, and like you get voted on if you only have like 10 seconds to draw something, and people are drawing like penises. It's like goofy. Like, it's horrible. Like, Roblox is horrible. Like, some of the games are fun. I'm a gamer. So people want to hate on me for playing Minecraft or hate on me for playing Roblox. I'm a gamer, so I grew up gaming. I play games. Is what I'm a gamer. So I play all the games. But it's when you see who's in these games, I've never really encountered any problems on Minecraft, but what happens, so Minecraft is so crazy because Minecraft, you get dropped on a map, and like you build your own little town and your own little home, and you can play all different ways. You can play where you're like battling zombies and, the spiders and things at night, and like the fighting side of it and mining and all that. But there's a lot of people that just free play the game, and they're just building houses, and they go there with their friends, and they all have like a little community, and they go on together, and they're all on somebody's world, and they go in there and they all play together, and they like create these little families. And these are people, they just meet each other online. They're just meeting each other, and somebody drops into your seed and they start playing with you. No, Roblox is horrible. Not only that, like, it influences kids to spend a whole bunch of money because everything isn't, it's all about making money in that. That game isn't for kids. It is not for kids at all. I wouldn't allow my kids to play Roblox. I let them. They play it now, but they're all adults. Like, my adult kids play Roblox. I played Roblox. I don't care. I mean, kids go on it, but it's all like these, I'll be honest, like the kids that are on there are like between 11 and 15, and they're like coming in, they're like pre-puberty, and they're don't know how to deal with themselves, and they're just inappropriate. They have like a free reign. They could say and do whatever they want on the internet, and they just do really crude things. They say crude things. The other thing though, now on Roblox, what I've gotten is, um, because, I build my character, and so you have a character and you just work on your own character and you build them up. And, like mine, I have her dressed really cool and everything because I like cool stuff because I'm into art and cute things. And so I have my character really cute. So I'm like trying to play the game, and like people, so you can like bump into each other and like follow people around the games. And like I'll be trying to play the drawing game, and people would just run and bump into me and bump into me and bump into me. And then like above their so you can't direct message, but when you're messaging in Roblox, how they do it is they type something and it goes above your head, like in a little chat box, and it'll be like that's what you're saying. And like the people will run up to you and they like bump into you, and like they make their chat box saying something. and they could say anything they want. They can give you their phone number. They can whatever, and they bump in. They just do whatever. But I have people all the time bumping into me, and like trying to talk to me and stuff on there, and like following me around in games. It's like really, really common. These games aren't made for kids. They look like kid games, but the games themselves aren't for kids. There's a lot of games that kids can't even play on there. They're too hard to play. Like my other son, the one that's the not gay son, my, he, he plays Roblox, and he plays, like, these games that are, like, impossible games. Like, you can't even like, 'cause we're friends, so you meet people on there, and if you know people, you join as friends on Roblox. So they become your friend, like, like here, on YouTube, you have, like, followers and subscribers and stuff like that. So it's like that, and so, like, you follow each other, and then you're friends on there, and then anytime they're in a game, you can see what game they're in, and you could just drop into their game. So I've gone and I've dropped into like the game my son's playing to see what he's playing, if it's any fun, because there's hundreds of games. You don't even know. There's new ones all the time. So I go to play the game, and he's playing this game. It's so hard, I can't even play it. It's just way, way too hard. There's a lot of, scavenger hunt type games on there. Um, there's all kinds of stuff on there, like, to play, but it's all for adults, not really for children. But it looks like geared for children. Like, the characters are cute. Like, it looks like little kid games. It's, like, poor made like a little kid game, but the content and the things going on are not child, like, friendly, even though it's geared, but everybody lets their kids play it. It's a horrible, it's totally a breeding ground for pedophiles. I'll tell you that right now. I saw it with my own eyes playing it. I can't even really enjoy playing the games anymore, because it's like you just every time I'm in a game, I get approached and people talking to me and messaging me stuff. So, and then of course, then they start adding you and trying to add you as a friend. They follow you around the game. All they got to do is click on you, and then they can add you as a friend. And it's like, it's crazy. But in Minecraft, it's a little bit different. Minecraft, you can talk straight up to each other. Like, most of the time, if you're wearing a headset, you could straight up just be talking in the game together. You have game chat. You're just talking to each other, or game, voice, where you're talking in a headset, and you guys are all playing, and you're building a whole city together and everything. My other son, he plays it with his girlfriend, and they made like their own little village together. And like, they don't live together, but then they'll play the game together, and they're like living in their little house, and so they've like built this connection through Minecraft of being like a couple. It's weird. It's really weird. Like, I'm the whole thing. So these games that we think are safe for children aren't really safe for our children. So here, this goes back again to, with Sebastian Rogers, where you're looking at, okay, so the game he's always on is Minecraft. He's obsessed with Minecraft. So that's something to me. It's very something. When I hear them saying that he was underneath his bed playing the game, why would you go underneath your bed to play a game? Like, is it because you don't want somebody to see what you're doing? Is that one reason why? I found that kind of strange that he was under his bed playing the game. I mean, I understand being autistic. You like being, under the bed and in places, but under the bed playing the game kind of it alerted me to something of like, well, what is he trying doesn't want them to see? What is he doing that he wants to be out of view? Who is he talking to? Is it the fact that he doesn't want them to know that he could talk in the game, or anybody to hear him talking in the game? That's something that, actually I was thinking about. Yeah, I mean, it is like a small safe space. September, I see that. It is a small safe space, but why would he feel like he needed to be in a small safe place while he was playing this game? He's already in his room with the door closed. Is he afraid that if his mom opens the door and walks in, then she's gonna be seeing him talking online to somebody, like talking to somebody. I see the other thing that they said he doesn't have internet access. Well, I don't know if they paid attention to the fact that he could have hotspot his phone. That's something that a lot of kids do. They hotspot their phones and then they're able to get online access for their games. And so, it's something that, that could be another option. I'm just trying to look at all options, all things, what else was there? What more to it was there, you know? There's a few things that I noticed. One thing I noticed too, because I went over like those videos again of the house over and over again. And like they're saying the only way he could get out maybe would be through the front door. But one thing I also noticed was that the frog, which is the family room over garage, the upstairs there, it had the two windows that push up. Like you could get out those windows. And the way she parked her van on the side right there of the house always, like a vehicle there, he could get down really easily off the roof. So there is a second exit point that maybe nobody would notice that he got out of the house, could have been through those windows because you could just push them up and climb out and close them. Um, I not my house that I have right now doesn't have those, but I had a house before that had those type of windows, like the little skylights that push open though. They're like vented ones. You could push them open, you can get out onto your roof really easy. We used to climb out them to put our Christmas lights up. So it's something like I'm very familiar with those kind of windows. They just open up and you can climb out and you could close them really easy from they kind of do like a little drop close sound. They would make a little bit of sound when you close them because they're when you close them down, but those were upstairs. That was another exit point that I noticed that could be possible if he didn't leave out of the other rooms. And so I was kind of thinking, like, why would they say he couldn't go out these other ones or we would heard it? We would have heard it. But then I was thinking, I've had windows before that have like beeping alarms. So like if you open the window, it makes a beep. And then they even said, "Well, the doors make noise or whatever," and I'm thinking, "Well, maybe that's what they're talking about. Maybe they have the type of like, the little alarms on the windows and stuff that beep if you open them, so they would know." It also would show in the report, like in your security report, that this window was opened or that window was open, and the only door that they don't have that on is the front door, and they changed it to one of those keypad doors instead. And I wonder if that's how they know he could not have gone out any other door. But those windows upstairs is to me still an option if he coulda went out those windows at the upstairs. But there's just a few things that I a lot of people haven't discussed that, I was that went through my mind when I'm hearing a lot of things. Another thing I wanted to discuss on that I noticed because everybody is talking about how the parents left the house so soon after he went missing and that they went to, the Yogi Bear, uh, park, and they were staying in the camper down there, and so I was thinking about it, one of the tactics when you have a child that's actually a runaway or a child that is missing with friends is they tell you to leave your house for a little while and leave the house alone because he may come back that way. He'll see that you're gone and he'll return or he'll return to get stuff out of the house. It's very, very common with teenagers when they run away to wait and watch for when the parents aren't there to return back to the house to retrieve items that they wanted, like, different types of stuff. So I was thinking, when they left, I know that they said they were getting a lot of threats, but it also could have been a tactic that they discussed with law enforcement to see if he would return if they left the house for a little bit. That's something, that I was thinking about. Yeah, the bonus room, September. Right. Yeah, it's called a bonus room, but it's also called a frog. Like, if you do real estate, they call it a frog. It's called family room over garage. That's what it stands for. And, yeah, that room. If you look, there's 2 there's also a regular window on the front side of it, but there's actually roof ceiling windows. Like, it's got, like, an angle, the ceiling comes down at an angle, and then there's these 2, like, dormer type windows that open out. Those windows is what I'm talking about, would be really easy to climb out of. They're not that high off the ground, you know? Yeah, it's the bonus room above the garage that's upstairs. And so yeah, and it has those 2 windows. I thought that's really interesting because that is a actual another exit point for him. Could be through those windows. Or entry point from somebody if somebody did break into the house, if they could get in through those I don't know if they keep them latched or not, but from the inside, they could easily, he could have easily opened them and climbed right out and got right down off of that roof. It's not that high. He could have totally gotten down and gotten off of it. I thought, well, that is an exit point. Um, but still, going back to what I was thinking with it when it came to them leaving the house and going and staying at the campground for a while, it could have been a way to see if they could lure Sebastian back to the house. It's very common, you know, when you have a runaway, there are certain tactics. See, so many people they're approaching it, looking at law enforcement was, um, and everybody was looking at it as like this is a crime. Like, it was a crime against Sebastian automatically, like, everyone went to that from the step-parents and everything. Well, I think law enforcement, when they first approached this case, they were looking at as a runaway. So what kind of tactics do you do when you have a runaway child? What kind of things procedures do you go through? And one of the things they do recommend is to leave the house alone for a little while to see if the child is watching and returns back to the house to retrieve items. It's very common. It's something that they do. So I didn't think it was weird that they left the house like that. The first thing I thought is, oh, they're trying to do like the tactic to see if he'll return, if because nobody's in the house. That's something that is very common. They'll even bait him. They'll put things on the porch and stuff. And I actually heard the neighbor said she left stuff on the porch for him. Well, I don't think it doesn't blow my mind that he wasn't seen on camera September because I just like what I was saying on my cameras, I don't catch everybody. Like, I literally like, my camera and I have a Ring camera, and it's set really good, and it's a newer Ring camera, and I have excellent internet and SD and every card in it and everything. Um, my neighbor will drive by and drive into their driveway, and, like, it misses their car every time. It only gets them when it comes into view, and then all of a sudden it kinda, like, glitches, and then it just shows them pulling in their garage. Like, it misses parts of it, but no, I feel like he ran away. I feel like he ran away, and I think he had met friends online, and he's with friends. Like, if you know that I'm very familiar with the gamer community, very familiar. It's so common for these people to gather together, and then he's like a runaway. That's the other thing. So you have, like, the homeless community and all these homeless teens. All those homeless teens are reported as runaways. Most of them are reported as runaways. Some of them have warrants and stuff. So why would they turn him in? People are like, "Oh, somebody would have seen him and said something." Nobody said anything about the other 20 teens that he's hanging out with if that's what he's doing. They're all runaways and they all have reports on them. So, they don't tell on each other. So that's where I'm with that too. Like, that's something that people have to consider. In this community online, everybody knows Sebastian Rogers and they're so focused on it like he's just in your mind, you can't imagine any other way. But there's million of people out there that don't know who Sebastian Rogers is, you know, because maybe 20,000 people across these channels on the internet on YouTube know who he is and a little bit on TikTok. The other million people don't know who he is. And so there's a lot of homeless camps and homeless communities that he could be in, and all those kids are wanted as runaways. He wouldn't be the only one. They're all full of teenagers that are runaways. But a lot of them get little apartments together and they do Uber Eats and stuff like that. They get one with a driver's license and they all work together and they run the shifts on it using one person's name and car. It's very common. Like the whole thing or DoorDash now, you know, there's ways that they can make money and survive, and they get little apartments and they group together. A lot of these teenagers in these gamer communities do that. A good place really to kinda look from, I think, would be through Discord. If you could go through the Discord chats. Yeah, hidden in plain sight. Yeah, and there's adults missing also. I mean, like, people think it's everybody knows who he is, but, like, now in my family, there's a few people that know because, like, a certain group on my family, they know because I talk about it. So they've learned it from me, so now they're following it, but other people have no idea what I'm talking about. They don't know who Sebastian Rogers is, you know? Actually, more people are more familiar with Summer Wells than Sebastian Rogers. Summer Well, I guess because of Dr. Phil and all that, it went a little bit further, but people, the cases that I talk about, and nobody knows these kids. The whole world out there doesn't know these kids. Our little small little sector on YouTube, because we're so familiar with them and we know every single thing in our mind, we can't see past it. We don't realize nobody else knows who these kids are. Sebastian Rogers could be in anybody's neighborhood right now, staying with a group of teenagers in an apartment. Actually, a lot of them, like around here where I live, they rent these little mobile homes because they're cheaper, and they all crash out in these mobile homes, and they all just put money together for rent and stuff. And then the ones that don't have jobs, they're the ones who clean. It's very common. This is not something. It's so common. Like, I guess maybe because I have sons and my sons were gamers and I watched them grow up in different styles and different friends they've had and doing different things and I'm a tattoo artist and I work at a tattoo shop, so I see all kinds of people. I'll be honest, I see all kinds of crazy ass people for real. And I don't know if maybe that's why I'm more exposed to different kinds of people that I see it. I'm exposed I'd see more homeless people maybe. I don't know. The whole thing. I'll tell you what's crazy, Dippy. Listen to this one. And you guys, this is crazy. So when Seth Rogers was homeless and staying in homeless camps, he was in El Cajon, California, and Santee, California, in those group of homeless. That's where he was homeless at, and he stayed for 2 years staying in those homeless camps. Jose Roman, that's where he died, in that homeless camp, El Cajon, California. It's the same homeless camps. I lived in El Cajon. Being homeless there, it's like a whole thing. Um, I was like, it's a lifestyle there. It's like they choose to be homeless and they stay in all these camps and they all ride bikes around and a lot of them are on drugs, but it's like a whole lifestyle there. It's crazy. But I thought it was really weird how Jose Roman, he died in Santee, is where he ended up dying at, was in Santee, but um where he was staying was El Cajon in them homeless camps, the same homeless camps that Seth Rogers was staying at, where he was homeless in them camps. I thought that was kinda crazy. How ironic is that? When you talk about coincidences, crazy coincidences. What kind of people could he have been exposed to, you know? What kind of people did he get exposed to staying in those homeless camps that could have brought him around later, you know? Yeah, it's very odd that both were staying there September. Super, super odd. I couldn't even believe it. Like when I was doing all my I've actually looked up a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things that I've looked up, but, you know, I all of this the new stuff that they're all putting out there to me, I look at more like history. When you look at the history, that tells you, like, long-term personality and behavior of a of, like, the people involved. No, he wasn't in, South Carolina. He when he died in Santee, California, right by he was staying at the, in El Cajon, which Santee and El Cajon are, like, right I used to live in El Cajon. My parents were actually born and raised in El Cajon, California. It's right outside of San Diego. So, it's an area it's East San Diego County, and all these homeless people stay out there. Literally, there's, like, this park that they're just hundreds of homeless people are just always camping out in these parks. So common. It's like a whole community thing there. Like, people come from all over because it doesn't get cold and it doesn't rain that much in San Diego area, so they all go there. He passed away in Santee, California is where he passed away. He didn't pass away in South Carolina. He passed away in Santee, California, and he had been staying in those homeless camps in El Cajon. Yep. It's really weird too, because if you look up when you go and you look up Jody Sue also lived in El Cajon before. I thought that was weird. I guess I lived there before, so that's not that weird maybe, but there's a lot of Navy there. Yeah, San Diego, but it was actually in Santee's where his where he died, his death certificate is San Diego. Yeah, California. It's in California, but it's El Cajon or the homeless camps he was staying in. It's crazy though. But that's where Zeth was living too. Zeth was living in before he moved and he went out of there, but he was staying in El Cajon. That's where he went homeless was in El Cajon. That's where they were living at. There's a lot of Navy there. It's a big naval base there. My dad went in the Navy. That he was there. It's like common to go in the Navy if you live there. It's like this is a thing to do because a huge naval base is there. But I don't know. To me, it was just crazy that they both were at the same homeless camp, and then they both end up in Tennessee. But yeah, it's weird. The whole thing is weird to me. There's almost too much coincidences. Sometimes it almost feels like it's all like a big simulation thing because it's like how could it just be all these coincidences and all this weird ass stuff, you know? And it's everything always like comes back to connecting. Like when you start looking into all the stuff, like all these things, it's like weird how things connect. And it's like, how do these things connect like this? But they do. But I guess it's that saying, whatever, what is it, 6 degrees of separation? So I guess you can always find your way back to something. Everybody's connected in some way. So you can always find a connection. I think that's part of it. But I just thought there's a few things, you know, that I wanted to touch on and discuss because they hadn't been talked about that much. And a lot of it was, and the reason I put that video out because it was the people who lived in that house before. Like that house had a whole life for years and years and years, a whole life, and people knew them, and it was a thing. And they only lived in the house for a year. You know, could it have been something to do with that house and people who had access to the house prior to it? You know, a lot of people go back to old places they live and commit crimes. It's a common thing. I'm not saying that those people have any involvement. You know, the old people that actually own the house all passed away. It was her daughter and the daughter's kids and stuff that lived in the house that that's, you know, who had actually been living in the house. The old lady was old, you know, that's why they have that walk-in tub and all that. It was elderly people. It was their kids. Like that's what was living there. It was a full house. But yeah, 6 to 7 degrees of separation or something like that. Yeah. It is like that. Everything connects. It's weird. And it makes it when you are sleuthing and looking at stuff, because I'm so that's my thing. I'll sit there and sleuth all the time, and I like look into every single possibility. You everybody always connects back to each other, and it's like, what the heck? It's stressful because then you're like, what is this? What am I looking at? And then you got to really look into it. I had made a really good video prior that it actually got taken down because of I don't even know why. A bunch of people did like privacy striking on me for some reason. But so there's another Jose Roman. That's the crazy thing. Another Jose, and I had made a whole video about it because on the Summer Wells case, the Candace has a sister. So there's a whole nother family um before Candace with her dad. She has an older sister named Kathy. Kathy's husband also's name is Jose. And so that's another thing. So Kathy's husband, so see, I think they're involved with where Summer ended up. So because every time I bring it up, Candace doesn't want to talk about it, and she starts shutting up and not wanting to talk to me anymore. And then another time she's crying and telling me, don't tell Dawn about this, don't tell Dawn about this. I really believe that's where she ended up with those people. The reason I believe this is because Jose's niece, the not Jose Roman that died in California at the El Cajon Santee area homeless camp, but the Jose that lives in South Carolina, the same place they always send all their problems to, because that's where they took Jose Roman. That's where they took him down to, that area, to get rid of him. But and the grandma did it, Candy Hare did it. She's the one who drove him down there because that's her connections down there. That's her ex-husband's kids all live down there. Candace's brothers and sisters live down there. That's the crazy thing. And so his niece, though, Candace's sister's niece, best friend, is from Greensville. And her aunt was Christy Fox, and Christy Fox was the lady who is the CPS worker that came out to their house that day. And that's, this has been my theory all along, that they got in contact and they made arrangements, and they with family and stuff, and then it didn't fall through, and they didn't take them, and they went and got him. They went up there and got her anyways, and that Grandis was involved in it, and they got her out of there. That's what I believe. After all my investigating and talking for hours with Candace and Dawn and everything, and looking into everybody and how it is, I actually believe that she ended up with them. I don't know where she went after that. I believe Candace doesn't know where she is now, but they somehow got her, rehomed her with another family, and it was to get rid of her, get her out of they didn't want CPS to take her, but they went ahead and just found her a place to stay. And Dawn didn't want her to go, so they did it without Dawn's knowledge. I don't think Dawn actually even knows, because the couple times I've talked to Candace and she broke down screaming and crying at me not to tell Dawn about it. Yeah. The time when I was talking to Candace and she three-ways her mom. Well, I'm on the phone with her, and then Candy answers the phone and says, "Don't talk about nothing. They record all of our phone calls." And then she hangs up. I'm like, why would she be saying those kind of things? Like, they're involved, but it's nothing bad. Summer's totally alive. She's just living with a different family, and they did it it just blew up, and the whole searching and all that just blew up, and they couldn't get away from it. That's what happened. But that's why I stepped away from her. There's nothing to look at for me anymore in that case. But, with Sebastian Rogers, though, I mean, we still have that, and I like I said, I think he left on his own. I think he was lured out by people, and I think he could even be still friends with those people. I mean, like we just were saying, like with Alicia Navarro, how that man, yeah, he's a 36-year-old weirdo pedophile dude, but she chose to be there. You know, some even though they're kids and she's 18 and she still chose to be there. You know, she wanted to get taken off of the missing person thing. Some people choose that life. I'm not, you know, it he could choose to be gone. He could choose to not, you know, he might be in a situation he's not happy where he is, but maybe he was more unhappy where he was, you know? And one thing I will say with autism that you get a lot of, um, they don't develop emotionally correctly. So they don't have, like, bonds to people like you would expect. So kids with autism don't have, like, a mom bond or a parent bond, you know, they just don't, so they can walk away and, like, they don't feel anything. They don't miss their mom. It's something that's really weird that you see with kids with autism, even adults with autism. They have a really hard time bonding. You know, they say actually sometimes it's like they can't really build real relationships because of that. They don't have that the same emotional, um, feelings like we would connect with, like, a parent or something. Autistic kids can bond emotionally, but they can detach. I'm very much so they can detach. I think you need to look more into than Missy because it's one of the things that they work on with autistic kids is is what did I say? I was asking if you were talking about Greenville, North Carolina. No, it was Greenville, um, Tennessee. Well, if you have 2 autistic kids, you can, you know, now fully grown, you could ask them and talk to them then. Ask them if they had a hard time, with bonding and feelings, because maybe you're not aware that it's something that they have to learn. That it's part of, if they go through, like, therapy and stuff, it's something that they work with them is, well, your children might be different then. Your children might, are they like Asperger's? Like high functioning autistic, or are they, 'cause see, I should have said more like Asperger's. So more of they don't have Asperger's. It's not on the diagnosis anymore. They call it high functioning, um, autism. I'm more focusing on that, like the high functioning autism. They have like a way of, like, detaching. No, it is no longer used. Asperger's is no longer used, but high functioning autism is what they call it now on the spectrum. Now my son, that's what he has. My son has it. He went through all kinds of therapy. It's very easy for him to detach from people, and then he had to go through learning processes with it. And, it's something, and, you know, if you look into it, it's very common for kids with that type of autism to not have the bonds. Okay, all right, Vivian, I won't speak as an expert on autism. I am giving my opinion. This is my channel, and what I talk about are the other things. So, I don't go with the flow of everybody else, at all. What I do is I try to look at the things that nobody else wants to talk about, the stuff nobody wants to talk about, the things that could maybe lead to a child being missing or a child leaving on their own. We talk about those things here, the things nobody wants to talk about, the things everybody's afraid of getting bashed about. That's what we talk about here. So if you want to talk about that, you're welcome to join the discussion and talk about that. Because in 10 months, the parents, everybody bashing the parents hasn't gotten anywhere in this case. And in a lot of cases that happens. I like to look at everything else. I'm not spread To me, that's not a harmful stigma about autistic people. It's not. If you're an advocate for over 20 years, then you should probably know this then. My son's 30 now with autism, and I have gone through and, uh, through all the kinds of all kinds of programs with him, all kinds of program no, it's not, because a person that's part of a personality, that's who he is. Who's momming it up? I don't know who momming it up is. My name is Kate Crime, and this is the Burn Barrel Show. I don't know who momming it up is. It's not me, but, I am Kate Crime, and you are on the Burn Barrel Show right now. It's what you're watching. I like to discuss things that nobody else talks about. It's the trash nobody wants to talk about. That's what we talk about over here. The things that offend people. I don't know if you seen my channel at all. I have a lot of warnings. I have a lot of trigger warnings. Lots and lots of trigger warnings. My channel will will trigger you with the things we talk about. It's just, it's the hard subjects to talk about. That's what we talk about over here. The things nobody else wants to talk about. Because they're also possibilities. It's not only one way or the other. We don't have tunnel vision here. We look at all the weird abstract things. That's why if my video that got bashed of the kids that used to live in the house before Sebastian lived in the house, and the house before it was their house. I look at those things. I look at a lot of stuff. I don't know who momming it up is, but I'm not her. No, my name is K Crime. But there's a lot of things that happen, with autistic kids that it's common for them to run away. It's common for them to, that people there's actually you want to say a stigma again, Vivian. It's a stigma, but leaving the home is very common. Running away and taking off is something that they do, especially the high functioning. They like to escape and do that. It's something that's common, actually. That's why the first thing Katie says is, "Oh, Sebastian's not a runner. He's not a runner." But it's because it is a common thing for autistic kids to run off, go off on adventures and stuff, you know? And there's incidents I can remember. I didn't plan on running away before. I never planned on it, but I accidentally kind of ran away. Like, I snuck out with friends and I was having so much fun, I didn't go back for a week. I ended up staying with my friends and I got in a lot of trouble for it. And honestly, I would have stayed longer if my friends' parents didn't make me leave. Like, because I was totally fine with just starting a new life, living somewhere else. Like, it happens. Sometimes you don't plan it. You go and you go on off for that day, and then you just get involved and you just stay in the life where you're at, doing whatever you're doing, and you don't go back. You thought my video wasn't how was it in bad taste? What was bad? What do you feel was untasteful about the video, Vivian? All it was showing the house before the Proudfits moved into it, and then the kids that were making the videos and doing prank calls from that house. That's what was in the house before Sebastian lived in the house. The one girl's bedroom was Sebastian's bedroom. It was the same bed. That's where she lived. That was her bedroom. That was their house. They're all adults now. All those videos were off of YouTube. They were all YouTube videos. They already were public. I don't know what bad taste is, because I didn't follow a narrative, because I want to look at something else, because I don't want to look at the parents. I want to look at other options. I mean, if you feel that's bad taste, then I guess bad taste. This is the Burn Barrel channel. That's what we talk about. A bunch of trash over here. I don't have a trashy mouth. Maybe y'all want me to have a trashy mouth. I don't have a trashy mouth. I just talk about a bunch of stuff that nobody wants to talk about. But hopefully a lot more people come through on the replay and want to listen to the things I have to say. in reference to that video. It's already been an hour now. I'm gonna probably get off of here, but I did want to, you know, say that again, that the whole point of this video was to explain, why I made that video, because I wanted to show you guys what was in the house before Sebastian was in the house. Yeah, no, I think that's what this channel is for. This channel was for thinking outside the box. But every time I try to do anything, everybody bashes me for thinking outside the box, because I don't jump on the train with everybody else and follow the narratives on either train. I'm riding my bike here by myself. I'm not on the green team train, and I'm not on the other SF train or the Proudfoot train. I'm just in the background pedaling my bike, riding my bike, you know, on going the other direction. One's going north, one's going south. I'm riding my bike west. That's where I'm at, because obviously nothing's come out of it. Nothing's come out of like bashing parents on either side. Nothing has. Let's look at some other things. Like, I like looking at other stuff. Like, for real. Like, I like seeing it. I mean, if you didn't see the video and you don't, maybe, you know what, I'm an artist, and sometimes people don't get my videos because they're kind of like artistic and they're kind of weird. And some people said, "Oh my God, that's like creepy pasta." But it's just weird because all I was showing in the video, it did catch a lot of people's attention. The video did. But nobody understood the whole point of it. The whole point of it is the fact that 1 year before Sebastian goes missing, this house was a different house. These kids were uh, doing prank calls to pedophiles. These kids were like making jokes out of people, out of adults. These kids were like online kind of inappropriately, but they have their videos are still all out there. Like, these kids were constantly fighting and running around, and like the one video, they locked the other kid in the garage and they're screaming and beating at the door. And that's the garage everybody's talking about. You want to see what the garage looks like? You want to see what it would look like if everybody's rumor Katie locked Sebastian in the garage and he died out there? I mean, that's what people are saying. There you go. There's the video right there of the garage with a girl locked in it. The sister locked her in there. Actually, that's the cousin. Locked her in there, and she's banging on the door, pissed off, and the other girl's laughing in the kitchen. That's the video right there. That happened before Sebastian lived there. But there it is right there. There's the door. That's the garage door. Everybody can't see in any of the other pictures. And that's the people who lived there before, kids goofing off, banging on that door. That's it right there. I showed it to you. You want to see it? There it is. I found it. And you think I'm weird for that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's interesting to me because I wanted to see what that door looked like, because you can't see it from any of the other pictures. I kind of wanted to see where that door was, how it locked, and where it was in there in the house. And I found it, and you wonder why maybe the garage door has some dents on it. Maybe it was for the people who lived there before. There's a video right there of a kid kicking a door, hitting a door. Maybe the dents on the other garage door were from the people that lived there before. They were kind of rough on that house. You could see how rough they were on the house. They did do a lot of remodeling in the kitchen, though. They changed it, the trend with the gray and the white and all that. The video's up. My video is up. It's still there. Like, it's the video. You could see it, and people are mad I put music on it. I put music on my videos. No, I wasn't showing it. I have a whole nother video outside of this one if you want to go watch it. It has like about 5,000 views. It's the video. It has the same title screen as this one, thumbnail, except for it's a pre-recorded video. I'm going to get off of here. And when I get off of here, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. And it's very short. It's only about 10, 15 minutes. But it does have music, and people don't like I put the music, but my music is copywritten to me and my channel. So they don't like it because they can't play it without getting copyright struck. And I put it on there because so people don't replay my stuff. They have to come here and watch it. Yeah, go watch it. It's interesting. Everything in it, I didn't do it to be a poor taste, but my channel, you know what? My channel is poor taste. This is what I'm about. I'm a trash show. What are you talking? I'm a burn barrel. I'm a trash show. I talk about the trash nobody wants to talk about. You know, that's what I do. That's what we talk about here. Not about other creators. We talk about the things with cases that nobody wants to talk about because they're afraid to talk about it. Because they don't want to be looked at in poor light because they mentioned something like, oh, the kid did this happen to the kid or that happened to the kid. Real things. We talk about the real things that everybody's scared to talk about. But in that, I'm going to say thank you guys for coming in tonight and go watch that video. If you haven't seen it, go watch it because that's what this was in reference to. And I kind of just started rambling on about other things. But thank you guys. And I am going to try to put out a video or go live every Friday, like around 10 p.m. Or I might adjust it depending on if other people are going live and I don't want to like, you know, go live at the same time because everybody's in their lives. No one's going to come talk to me. But if you're catching it on the replay, thank you guys for watching the video. And thank you for everybody that came in here and joined in the chat. And I will see you guys next Friday. I may put out other videos before then of related content, but I plan on going live around 10 p.m. on Fridays. But thank you guys.